Hi, I'm Steve Good. Welcome back to the Scrollsaw Workshop. Tonight I'm going to do the second video in a series of videos on the basics of CorelDRAW so we can all get up to speed and be creating scrollsaw patterns with CorelDRAW. And what I want to talk about tonight is why use a vector-based graphics program such as CorelDRAW as opposed to using some of the other image editors like Photoshop or even Microsoft Paint. And so what I'm going to do tonight is show you the difference between a vector graphic and a bitmap graphic. And a bitmap is basically what's produced by programs like Photoshop, and a vector graphic is produced by CorelDRAW. So what I have on the screen here are two graphics that basically are just squiggly lines, and the one on the left is a bitmap graphic and the one on the right is a vector graphic. Now before I talk about the difference between the two, I'm just going to take my zoom tool and I'm going to zoom in on the same area of both of these graphics right here in the upper left hand corner of both graphics. So I'm going to do the bitmap graphic first, and you'll see that as I zoom in, the closer I get, the worse this line looks. In other words, this graphic, this bitmap graphic, is a collection of pixels that are defined at the moment the image is created. And to enlarge or reduce this particular graphic, the program has to either add pixels or subtract pixels to be able to do that. So that's what a bitmap graphic looks like when you zoom in. Now this is the vector graphic, and I'm going to zoom into about the same size area, and you can see that this is retaining its smoothness, and it doesn't matter how far we zoom in, we're still going to have a nice smooth line. Now the reason for the difference is in a bitmap graphic, again, the pixels are defined at the time it's created, and basically that's all you're going to get. In a vector graphic, the lines are actually calculated by a mathematical formula. So if you want to enlarge or reduce a vector graphic, what essentially is happening is the computer is recalculating that shape. So no matter how far you enlarge or reduce or zoom in or zoom out, the image is just recalculated and redrawn on the screen. So you end up with perfect lines at any resolution. Now, the nice thing about that in relation to making scroll saw patterns is that as you're drawing patterns on the screen, you don't have to worry about the fact that you might later need to resize that graphic to make it fit your pattern. So that's the basic difference between a bitmap editor such as Photoshop and a vector graphics editor such as Corel Paint. And I think you can see by looking at the images zoomed in the difference that it is. Okay, a couple more things I want to talk about tonight, and I'm going to try to make this a quick video tonight. We're going to talk about selecting objects on the screen. If I create a couple of objects here on the screen, we'll do a rectangle and an oval, and I have my pick tool selected, which is the tool in the upper part of the tool menu bar, and I click on this particular object, you'll notice that it puts these handles around the object. Now these handles give you the ability to resize and move this particular object. The handle in the middle is called the move, and this one right here is a proportional tool that if I click on this handle and pull, you can see that the object is being resized proportionally horizontally and vertically. So when I let go, the mathematical equation for this rectangle redrew it at the larger size. The handles in the middle of the object are non-proportional, so you can see when I move this, I'm actually squishing the object. Same thing with the ones in the middle and the top. When I want to move the object, this is the move handle. Now the good thing about CorelDRAW is you don't have to be right on that handle. If you're inside the object, you'll see my cursor changes to a little cross, and then you can click, left click and hold, and you can move this object around the screen wherever you want. Okay, there's a second set of handles. Oh, let me go back to this for a second. You'll also see on the very corner of these objects, when they're selected, these little hollow squares, and I'll zoom in to have you get a good look at them. And what those are nodes. And you'll hear me talk about nodes a lot while we're doing projects. And a node is basically just a beginning and an ending of a line segment. So for this line segment at the top of this rectangle right here, this is the beginning node and this is the ending node. For this line segment, this is the beginning node and this is the ending node. And we'll talk more about nodes later, but you'll find that in a vector graphics program, all lines are defined with a beginning and an ending node. So all line segments can only have two nodes, and every object is defined by its nodes. Okay, the second set of handles that's built into CorelDRAW is once this is selected and clicked, if you click it again, you'll see that a different set of handles appear. The ones on the corners are the rotate handles, and you'll see if I click and hold, that will allow me to rotate the shape. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And the handles in the middle of the object are the skew handles. So if I grab this handle right here and pull, it actually skews the shape. Same thing with the one on the side. It allows me to skew it. Okay, the last thing that you'll see is this handle in the middle of the object that's selected is the rotation point, the anchor point. So right now, if I rotate this, you'll notice that the object is rotating around its center point, which is where the rotation anchor begins. If I click on that anchor and move it, say down here to the corner by dragging it with my mouse, now when I grab my rotation handle, you'll see that I'm still rotating around that anchor point, and so it's a different type of rotation. And this will come in real handy when you're creating patterns that need to be rotated. Later on I'll show you how we use this to make objects the way we want. So those are the basic of moving, resizing graphics in CorelDRAW, and also allowing yourself to resize the graphic just simply by grabbing the handles and moving it. So there's a few more basics tonight. Not a lot to this video, but I'm still trying to get us to the point where we can navigate around CorelDRAW, and once we get to that point, then we can begin using some of the tools to create some patterns. So hope this video comes in handy for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Please visit my blog at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com.